Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog, so let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all.
All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store.
This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, first story up. I'm sure you guys already heard the news, but over the weekend, our girl Angie Stone, mama named her Angela Laverne Brown. I laughed when I read that. I was like, she looked just like an Angela Laverne Brown too. Oh my goodness. Anyway, you guys, Angie Stone was killed in a car accident over the weekend. On Saturday morning, I believe it was either Saturday or Sunday morning, we woke up to the news that she had passed in a car crash. She had just performed in Mobile, Alabama, and she, along with 8 other people, were in a Sprinter van, a Mercedes Sprinter van, on the highway, on their way back to Atlanta. I'm not sure if she lived here or not, but she was on her way back here. She had a performance that next day in Baltimore, I believe. So she's been traveling up and down the coast on this side. But her life was cut short, unfortunately, when the van that she was in, it ended up tumbling over. After the van stopped tumbling, and they said an 18-wheeler then hit the van after it finished tumbling. And in that tumble, I'm not sure before or afterwards, but they said that Angie Stone's body, was ejected from the van, most likely during the tumble, and she died in that crash, which was so sad and so shocking. And just like, what is going on? 2025 is just like people are dying left and right. It's just awful, you guys. What is there to say? I mean, this is definitely a person that's been a part of our whole music thing. I mean, at least a part of mine for a long time now. You guys know that before we knew Angie Stone as Angie Stone, she also has been credited as being a part of a group that was like the first female rap group. They were known as... what was the name of the Sequence, the Sequence. And they're the ones that had, "We gonna funk you right on up, we gonna funk you right on up." I don't know if I even know the song, but we've heard that so many times, and then to hear that was actually her group that came out with that song. She told us when I saw her in concert with D'Angelo, ironically, back when we first, right before we moved here to Atlanta. Was that here, or did we see her in LA? No, I think it was here. Right when we first saw her, we saw her actually on tour with, not D'Angelo. We saw her on tour with Anthony Hamilton, and that's when she had told us that she was a part of that group. After she was in that group, she went on to a R&B group that she was a part of called Vertical Hold. This was in the early 90s. And she was in that group until the neo-soul movement started to hit, and we started to get the likes of Erykah Badu and Jill Scott and, people that actually had a certain type of sound to their music. Miss Angela Laverne Brown figured that was where her niche would be. And that's when she came out with her first album, when she went solo. I don't remember what the name of the album was, but you guys know that's the album that has "My sunshine will come, my sunshine, and I'm all cried out, and there's no more rain in this house. There's no hiding place." I'm not gonna sing all, because I didn't sing all last week, so I'm not gonna do it to you today, but I have to do it for her album, right? Okay. And she also had "I can't eat, I can't sleep anymore, waiting for love to walk through the door. I wish I didn't miss you anymore." Anyway, but those aren't the only songs that we know of Angie Stone. She's had a lot of hits. She is just one of those staples. She's been there since the 90s. Well, actually, since the early 80s, I guess, if you were to count from when she first hit the music scene. But like we've always known that we've had an India RE or a Jill Scott or, you know, Erica, we've always had an Angie too. And the fact that she's now going to be removed from that group and we won't be getting any more music from her is pretty heartbreaking. Like I said, Angie Stone was on repeat. She was definitely a part of the rotation back when she first came out. I don't listen to her music as much anymore, but you know, we can always appreciate a My Sunshine Will Come, My Sunshine. You gonna sing along when it come on the radio. And that's the thing, like, we're losing so many of our people that just mean something to us, you know, and it's not just us. I mean, it is many folks out there, celebrities, fans, friends, people have been posting saying, you know, that they can't believe it and how they feel like a part of them has been pulled away. Yeah, definitely I feel that way as well. Now, she's had a very consistent, successful life, Grammy nominations. She won NAACP awards. She's have albums that have gone certified gold. I think that they said that she had 12 albums. You know what? I didn't put that in my notes, so don't quote me, but I think they did say 12 albums. Also, side note, Funk You Right On Up came out in 1979, so she was actually been singing on somebody's stage since the 70s, child. We is in 2000. That is 50, almost 50 fucking years, you guys, 40 years. But anyway, getting back to it, she's certified gold albums. We've seen her in the movies. She was in The Fighting Temptations, which, fun fact, I've never seen that movie in full. I just didn't want to see it. It just looked so corny to me. But we also loved seeing her on R&B Divas. Like, I think that's when we really, like, I feel like that's when a lot of us got to really know her as a person, as opposed to just being somebody on the stage. You know, we had to deal with Angie, get used to her ways. Yeah, some people could say that, you know, she might have had her times on R&B Divas. However, I always loved Angie Stone because I felt like she was just old school, like old school mama. Okay. And so she brought her old school mama ways to the show, and it was never like, she wasn't evil, for lack of better words. That's not the word that I want to use, though. She wasn't, you know, she wasn't the type that was just like trying to be like this mean person to folks. This is just how she was. She always had her blessed oil. Remember, we used to be like, oh, Angie with the blessed oil. She gonna bless whatever situation that she don't understand, you know. So just old school. And that's why, you know, she still found a place in many of our hearts, because I think many of us could see some of our older relatives that we know and love, but, you know, have their own ways as well. We kind of see them in Angie Stone. And even the people on the show were saying that she was just a great person to be around, you know, that we may have only seen one side of her. Did you guys know that she was the person that sang the theme song of Girlfriends? I didn't know that. I almost felt like maybe I had heard that a long time ago, but I didn't remember it. So, but yeah, that's one of the things that's going around, you know, them reminding us of her achievements and all. Now, she is survived by 2 children. Remember, she had the daughter that we actually used to see on, what else were they on? I want to say they were on another reality show. The daughter was on, was it Love and Hip Hop? Like for a hot minute, was the daughter on Love and Hip Hop, child? I don't even remember. It used to be so much going on Love and Hip Hop. But I do remember seeing her and her daughter in a different dynamic. Not on R&B Divas, but somewhere else. One of y'all remind me, because y'all the old brain, bitch. Don't get old. Don't get old. But yeah, she's survived by the daughter, Diamond Stone, and also her son, Michael Archer. Michael Archer is the son that she has with D'Angelo. Okay. And then she also is survived by 2 grandchildren. She will be missed. They played her music all weekend, at least on satellite music, radio. I listened to her all weekend. And like I said, yeah, just pretty heartbroken, just sad. Like, our people are just dying left and right. it's just craziness. Anyway, you guys, she was 63 years old. Rest in peace to Angie Stone. All right, you guys, wildfires in South Carolina, child, I'm telling you. So it's just what is going on in the country. I'm telling you, the Mother Nature is so not happy with this country right now. And now we've got these wildfires that have cropped up in South Carolina, even in Georgia. It's up in the mountain areas right now, but it's very close to where people live. So far, the fires have not, now so far as of like right now, when I just read up my notes and wrote up my notes, it hadn't reached any homes. No damages to any structures, or nobody had been killed or injured. However, as these fires continue to grow, you guys know that it's very unpredictable and anything can happen. They said so far it's been over 5,000 acres that have been burned. They said that 175 active fires are going on right now. I think they said they got like 30% contained of these fires. It's interesting when they say it's 175 fires. Like, where does the fire end for them to know this is this fire, this is that fire? Just like the whole shit is on fire. The governor, Henry McMaster, he was not fixing to be playing around with these fires, the wildfires. He saw how quickly they got out of hand out there in California. Did not want a repeat of that. South Carolina is not halfway as big as California is, and South Carolina cannot afford to have their whole fucking town, their whole cities, their state basically on fire. So, but I want to remind you guys that it's not the state. It's 5,000 acres, but we just don't want it to grow any further. They're saying that the wind, much like what happened in California, the wind was kicking up out there, and that was the reason why they were so worried that the fires could blow down into like inhabited areas where people live, and then that's going to be a different story. So they're trying to get a handle of it now, so they're asking for the assistance. FEMA, Red Cross, they said they're down there. Red Cross has some recreational centers that they are opening up their place, opening up to help people, as well as some churches out there. But they're saying that the fires is in the same areas of where Helena had hit, and they were still trying to recover from that. Remember, they were flooded out and it was real bad out there. Okay, they're still trying to recover from that. They're still trying to clean up from that, and now they've got these fires going on. I'm telling you, it's just crazy. So they're expecting the wind to like go up and down. So that's what's been keeping everybody pretty much on their toes. But good news is, at least here in Atlanta, I know that we are expected to have rain tonight and all day tomorrow. And so, or like an 80% chance tomorrow. So I'm hoping that the rain also is going to be, usually because we're up north, if we get the rain here, it's going to be even worse up more north than us. So hopefully that will help. But yeah, you guys, these fires, these rainstorms, flooding, the hurricanes, the tornado, I'm telling you, Mother Nature's they just not happy with us right now. It's so much. It's so much. If I have any rock stars out there that are in South Carolina, I do know of quite a few of you guys that live out there in South Carolina. And my prayers are up for you guys. I just hope y'all don't catch on fire. Okay, like fires and floods they just so devastating to me. People always, I just had this conversation with somebody yesterday at Lowe's, and the man was saying how he didn't never want to move to California because of earthquakes, and I was like, I'm gonna tell you what, these earthquakes are not as bad. At least so far. Now, they always saying the big one is going to come. But so far, the earthquakes that hit California, they are nowhere as devastating as these floods and these fires and these tornadoes. And there's no way. They're not as devastating as that, So if you were to pick your choice, if you were to pick and choose out of all these natural disasters, I probably would still pick an earthquake. But You know, that being said, nobody wants to be caught up in any of this kind of stuff. And I hate that, you know, people are losing their homes, losing all of their things that are not replaceable, pictures, memories. You know, thank goodness now, though, a lot of people now, pretty much all their pictures are digital somewhere. But like from my generation, you know, I'm probably the last generation that still has like a big ass container at the house full of like actual printed pictures. So those are the kind of things that when I think about fires that upset me, is just like those kind of things you can't never get back, you know. So hopefully everybody is out there staying safe, and hopefully everybody's houses are being spared. Okay. But I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on out there. Again, rock stars, my South Carolina rock stars, you know, and to you guys who might have loved ones out there, you know, hold your head up, and hopefully you guys will be in a better place after tomorrow. Okay? In a better place, meaning that the fires, the rain will have... The fuck was that? Oh my God, these loud ass cars. I'm sorry, you guys. The rain will have helped out the fires, and that you guys will be in a better place, meaning that there's no more fires out there. Okay? All right. Or they have control of them. Let's move on to the next story. The fucking loud ass, and it's a Cadillac. Why does a Cadillac sound like that? Do you guys hear that? It's a new... I hate when people be making their cars loud on purpose. That shit is so annoying. Next story. All right, you guys. Jayz, they say that he is suing the alleged accuser, and sis say she's afraid. He's also suing Tony Buzbee, because he says that Tony Buzbee is the one that put her up to accusing him of sexual assault. Okay. Jayz says because they went on with these shenanigans and put this false claim in and everything, that it caused Jayz to lose $20 million. And $20 million is a whole lot of money. I don't give a fuck if you a billionaire. You didn't get to be a billionaire by letting people slide, okay, and play in your face. So Jayz is like, yeah, he wants somebody to pay about this. Now, this girl, from what I understand, she ain't no... What? Why all of a sudden it done got real hot, y'all? Oh, excuse me. Something is happening. I don't know, but I got to turn the heater on. Oh, I mean the air on. Oh my gosh. I'm assuming this woman probably doesn't have it. He's going to be going mostly after Tony Buzbee, but you know, she also gonna learn the hard way that lying on people and creating stories like this, you know, there are repercussions to it. Now, let them tell it, Tony Buzbee and this Miss Jane Doe. She's saying that she's not lying. She gonna stick to her story. That's what Tony Buzbee tells us anyway. Even though it's been dropped, that does not mean that she's not claiming these things still. You know, she's just not going to press any charges, or she's not going to be able to press the charges. He feels like they're trying to intimidate her. They're trying to scare her. She says that someone showed up to her home in Alabama. Now, she lives in Alabama now, and she says that two people actually cornered her at her home and had all these questions for her, was trying to get her to admit that Tony Buzbee is the one that put her up to it. She wouldn't do that, Tony said. They were trying to get her to recant her story. She said she's not doing that either. However, she's afraid because she doesn't understand how they got her address, because in all of the legal paperwork that was filed, she's filed as a Jane Doe. So she doesn't even know how they found out who she is, let alone where she is. So she's a little terrified. Tony Buzbee is also saying that they're trying to say that he paid her to testify against Jayz, which I guess she's saying that she did not get paid either. That's where we are with it. Jayz says that it was always an extortion and blackmail plan. They was just trying to get money out of Jayz, and the fact that he stood firm and was fighting it, you know, that's the reason why they are where they are today, which was with a dismissed case, and now them on the other end of a lawsuit. Now, Jay-Z also filed a separate defamation lawsuit against Buzbee in Los Angeles. And they were saying that Buzbee was going to release a fake statement that Jane Doe was intimidated into dropping the case. Okay, and so as if on cue, that's when she came out and said that he's bullying her, and these two people showed up at the house and all of that. Okay, so Jay-Z and them already are trying to get ahead of it by saying, this is what's going to happen next, this is what they're doing, these are what the threats are, this is why we're suing, this is how much for, you know, this, that, and the other. And Jane Doe and Tony Buzbee are on the other end saying that Jay-Z and his lawyers are just treating them wrong and trying to scare everybody. But Tony Buzbee said they is not intimidated, okay, and that he's still gonna move forward, not necessarily with this case with Jay-Z, but he's still moving forward with these cases with Puffy. I guess if something else came up on Jay-Z, I guess Tony said, you know what, don't tempt him. Okay, he gonna find another one out there that's gonna be willing to come up with a story to do something to Jay-Z. At this point, I'm tired of the story. It's just sort of like, okay, the story has been dropped. I mean, Jay-Z is going to be suing, but it still feels like it's like, well, he said this, well, she said that, well, he did this, well, he did that. It's just like, okay, child, okay. Anyway, we'll see what else comes out of that. And we're going to move on to the next story. All right, you guys, everybody is up in arms about old Gervonta Tank Davis and this fight that he had against Lamont Roach this past weekend. Y'all, I told y'all I don't fuck with I don't fuck with the boxing matches no more. It's just not the same. First of all, these little niggas, they look so tiny and stuff. I mean, I'm sure they all full fighters and everything. It's just like, y'all don't look like Muhammad Ali and Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. And remember how big and strong these men are? Everybody's so little and scrawny looking now, little teeny tiny. I mean, how tall is Gervonta? Child, this look like some little old measly. Anyway, child, y'all like to watch these new fights, child. So Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach had a fight. I didn't watch it, okay, but everybody says that it was some bullshit because Gervonta Tank Davis apparently decided to take a knee somewhere around the 9th round. Took a knee, but then went to his corner for a few seconds and then came back out and finished the fight. However, the judges for the fight decided to put the match at a draw. And the people were not happy about that. First of all, I'm sure Gervonta has his fans or whatever, and, you know, they were shocked to see that he would actually even take a knee. All right. Some people will even say that Lamont Roach was actually beating up old Tank, and that also might be a reason why the whole fight looked like it was just kind of going awry. But yeah, he took the knee, but then came back, finished the fight. It went the full 12 rounds, but then by the time the judges judged, you know, like I said, they put it at a draw. Now, the people are claiming bullshit. When they asked Gervonta, like, why was he a little bit off on this fight, he went on to explain that he had just got his hair braided, and the blue magic that old girl put in his hair, after all the sweat and heat, the grease started to come down into his eyes and he couldn't see. Okay, and everybody at he said this on the microphone at the fight. Now, everybody that was listening was like, boo, boo. He's like, what the fuck, y'all? Why y'all booing me? I'm telling y'all what happened, you know. Just as a short little story time that I have, you know, regarding this topic, I too have fallen victim to the grease heating up in my hair and coming down my forehead into my eyes. Back when I went to Paul Revere Junior High School, and anybody that listens to this video that went to Paul Revere Junior High School in Brentwood, California, you guys would know that Paul Revere was big on running. Okay, they used to love to have their students run. If you were in PE, which you had to take PE, okay, you was gonna be running. It's a running school. All right, so they had the 600, they had the Ironman, they had the cross country, they had the around the world that they actually got rid of before I came. But my brother that went there, he used to tell me about the around the world. They had these damn runs where you was running for 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 miles. They had runs where you ran all up over on Sunset and shit, baby. We was running. I used to hate it, by the way. I hate running still to this day. But anyway, I remember one time I had my hair braided and I had an Ironman that day. The Ironman was 2 times around the lap, which was like 800 meters. So it was like 2 times around the lap. And then you had to go out the gate, go down all the way to the front of the damn school, come back up. Child, it was a whole lot, right? Anyway, it was hot this day in particular. I was sweating and the grease was in my eyes. I could not see. I remember rubbing my eyes, like rubbing, and it was getting worse and worse. My eyes were burning. I even ended up stopping. They ended up calling my mom. My mom was like, you better get your behind back out there and run. And I was just like, now see, Ruby, you know good and damn well you wasn't gonna be out here with this shit, but you want me to be doing all this running. I don't like this shit. But it was the same thing, y'all. I had grease. My grease was not Blue Magic, though. My mom used to use Royal Crown on me. But yeah, Royal Crown in the eyes, you really can't see. It really is like one of them crazy, like, just things that happen. So that probably was true, you know, even though he took the knee and people were saying he was getting his ass beat, even though he says that he landed more punches, that he should have still won the fight. But they put it as a draw and they're going to have a rematch. But yeah, it does happen. It does happen. People was like, nigga, you is a lie. You is a grease in the eye lie. But I was like, no, that is really true. I know some of you guys probably have had the same thing happen too. Like that grease just come on down, baby, and it's just in there. And then the more you wipe and smear and shit, it just smears it and makes it even worse. So I kind of, you know, I'm kind of leaning towards believing old Tank Davis. In the meantime, they say they're going to fight again, y'all. They're going to fight again. Because Roach say, he blasted Tank and say that he put that clause in his contract because he was worried about losing. So the Tank Roach, he seems to be quite confident that he could beat Tank's ass. And from what I have been reading in the comments and shit, a lot of y'all are kind of confident that he could beat Tank's ass too. So we'll see what that rematch is going to be. You know, they're going to make a good little penny off of it because they've been, you know, going back and forth on social media, and there definitely is a rematch that's going to happen. So maybe more people will go to that one to see if really and truly Roach will be able to take old Tank down. All right, we're going to move on to the next story. Omarion said that it's more women out there than men, and so he understands what Kofi was saying. Kofi from Queen Sugar, the cute one, Ashley's man. Ashley, you still fucking with Kofi when he out here saying foolishness like this? Now, Kofi did a video. He was in an interview recently, and he was talking about how he does, what was the word? Ethical polygamy. That's what it was. Ethical polygamy. He says that he basically has a lot of relationships with different women and that he keeps it ethical because he makes sure that everybody is aware what's happening, that he doesn't want to get stuck with one person. So anytime he's with a woman, they have to understand that he is an ethical polygamist. Okay. Omarion was on Sherry Shepherd's show and she asked him what he thought about that. And, you know, he started going on and on about, well, you know, it's just, you know, it's more women than men out there, you know, and it's just hard, you know, the good dudes don't win no more. And da-da-da-da-da. Nobody got time for all that shit, okay? Basically, what they saying is, yeah, we fuck a whole bunch of women and they all okay with it. That's the only way that we are going to do it with them, for them to be okay with it. We tell them, and then we still fuck everybody else. Okay? That's basically what it is. You have to just be communicative with your partner/partners and let them know that, you know, I mean, you know, when I was young and dating and out there, I always appreciated when somebody would just tell me what it was. Because many of the times, I didn't really like you like that either. You know, it was just a good time for that moment. You know, and if we could just kind of quit fucking around and quit playing and just say, like, yeah, I'm still seeing other people, but, you know, it's cool hanging with you. Like, I could appreciate that kind of thing. Now, that was always something that a guy would say to me, because that's never been me. Like, I'm not a person that would be dating. Well, there was a moment when I was dating a lot of people, but I wasn't sleeping with all these people. Okay. But what I'm saying is, I could always appreciate when somebody is truthful with me. Let me make the decision whether I want to be one of one or one of 10. Okay. Sometimes I was cool with it. Other times, you know, when I thought it was going to be something exclusive, I wasn't. And that's basically all they saying here. You know, ethical, polygamous, or whatever, all this words that we trying to put on it. All you just basically saying is, I'm not fixing to be tied down to one person, and whoever I'm going to be with is going to have to be okay with that. Okay? But yeah, I actually did some, looked at some some statistics, and I'm gonna let y'all know what I saw. So back in 2021, the statistics that were pulled from the census report, they said that there were 167.31 million females here in the United States, born females, okay, as opposed to 164.72 born male in the United States. Globally, though, that is not true. Globally, there are 4.05 billion males compared to the 4.01 billion females. So here in the United States, the numbers are a little skewed, at least as of from the last time this report, which was back in 2021. But you got to remember that is females and males, children as well. So those numbers might still be like, you know, it doesn't determine like dating age, females and males. This is just males and females, period. So some of those are children or old people also that aren't going to be in that number. But I hate when men always say it's more women than men, because it feels like it gives them a reason to want to say that's the reason why they cheat. No, it just be some of these motherfuckers just don't get no man. Okay? That don't give you a reason to still be feeling like you got to be with all these other women because there's not enough men to finish, you know, to help them out. Let them worry about that. Let this one man stick with his one woman. Okay? This is a much longer conversation that I could have, because one of the guys at my job, he let me read this book that was talking about how unnatural it is to be monogamous. And I think that's true. I think that it is not natural to be monogamous. That's why it is so difficult for so many people. That we as humans, we are animals first. And so I feel like we are not animals, mammals. I feel like that we, like it's in our nature to want to be with a bunch of people. Because if you want to have sex, you just want to have sex, you know? I think that comes natural for most people, but the commitment part is what brings, you know, what comes in to you being in a monogamous relationship. You also need to be committed to that. Okay, that's why it is a choice to stay faithful to somebody. It doesn't come naturally. Otherwise, we would have a whole bunch of people that is staying in their marriage and shit and not going outside the lines because they're there. It's easy for them, but it's not easy for everybody, and it's not natural either. So that's why it is a choice to be committed to somebody, you know, and sexually as well. So, but yeah, I'm like, oh my, I don't feel like hearing the deep. I don't feel like hearing the deep. Just say, oh yeah, I got all these women, and everybody is on the same page. Everybody knows that I'm seeing all these women, so everybody's okay with it. Okay. Mariani seems like he might be a nice, cool enough guy, you know. So, but you know, and that Kofi kid, he looked like he probably a cool guy as well, but it's still bullshit. Anyway, y'all have to let me know what you think about that conversation. I'm just like, I'm so enlightened. I'm so heightened. I'm so smart. I'm over it. Okay. It's just a whole bunch of, you know, newfound podcasts, conversation where everybody all of a sudden is a damn professional and they have so much to say about relationships and what people are doing and men and women and all. So I'm over it. I'm over it all. So that's that on that, you guys. Let's move on to the next story. Y'all let me know what you think about that, though. Ethical polygamy, or is it just motherfucker letting all his women know that he's seeing a whole bunch of women? Y'all, let's move on to the next story. Lastly, you guys, this is not really a story. The Oscars, I don't really have much to say about the Oscars because the Oscars have come to be a show. Now, I did watch, okay? But I love the Oscars for the fashions. I just love to watch the red carpet. This year, I didn't even realize the Oscars was coming on at 7. They usually come on at 8, okay? But they was coming on at 7, which means the red carpet started earlier than it normally did. So I'm expecting the red carpet to start at 6. The shit been on since 4:30. I get on there at 6 o'clock. It's only 1 hour left, okay? So, I mean, I was able to squeeze in the red carpet, whatever I got in that 1 hour, and then it was off to the show. But what I'm going to say about the Oscars, it feels like it's just a show where they are so involved in critically acclaimed movies that it be movies that half of us ain't never even fucking heard of. Anora, I'm sure it's good. Everybody says it's good. I mean, obviously it's good. It did what? It was unexpected and won a whole bunch of the big nominations, including Best Actress. Okay. We've been seeing them, dangle Demi Moore and Cynthia Erivo, and we've been seeing them dangle all these people, this Chalamet boy, all in our faces. Only for them to turn around and give them to somebody else. Even though I do think the McCulkin kid, I think that he deserved it. I didn't see the movie that he was in, but I think that he's a great actor. I remembered him from what's the name that I used to watch. But anyway, what just really got on my nerves even more was the fact that they've been dangling Cynthia Erivo. They had Cynthia open up that show, that beautiful voice. Okay, she looked beautiful in her dress. Has Ariana Grande out there. We've been beat over the head with that fucking Wicked movie. We saw that commercial at Target. We done heard it over and over and over and over and a million trillion gazillion times. Everything is Wicked. They gave it the Barbie treatment. The same way that Barbie last year was all over the place. And, every time we saw Blake Lively, she was in some damn pink and black. We couldn't get away from it. That's what they did with Wicked. Ariana has had pink glued to her as like Cynthia has had green or some form of green and black glued to her. It's everywhere, okay? They didn't, them girls opened up the show and they done did all of this and made folks think that Cynthia was gonna do it and all that. Even though I didn't think that Cynthia was gonna win. I started seeing the writing on the wall when because you start seeing the SAG awards and the Golden Globe awards and all of these different awards ahead of time, kind of give you an idea where they're leaning towards. But I didn't see it for the girl that won for Nora. She was not the one that I thought was gonna do it. Okay, honey, but yeah, Demi didn't do it and neither did Cynthia. And when Cynthia didn't win, I just was like, but I ain't nothing I can really say because I didn't see any of the other movies. I didn't see it. And that's the other thing. It's just like, when did these movies come out? Where were they? I don't even remember seeing having these movies in the theater. But it's like I don't go to the movies like I used to. So that might be it. But I'm just like, what the fuck are these movies? Where are they playing? I mean, we knew Wicked like the back of our hand. And I'm not just saying that Wicked is the one, but I'm just using Wicked as an example. That they'll have you going and going and going and going for something, and then you get to the Oscars and then it just be a whole something else. Nora, what the fuck? My brother was like, Roxanne, it was a good movie. I said, I'm sure it was a good movie, but who saw it? It's like, but I guess the Oscars is not a popularity contest, and I mean, but I'm just like, so I did watch, but really pretty much only for the dresses. I love seeing everybody. I love all the glitz and glamour of it, but I didn't write down nothing. Just off the top of my head, Selena Gomez is my best look. Demi Moore looked fabulous as well. Loved her Oscar look. I did also really like Cynthia Erivo. I did like hers, but she wasn't a fave. I did like Ariana Grande's, but hers wasn't a fave either. I'm telling you, Selena Gomez, I was just like, girl, that is old Hollywood right there. Perfect. And I liked Demi Moore's as well, because I felt like they were going for like the same kind of look with the long hair, even though Selena's just had a little bob. But you know, the long, the waves kind of coming around down, and then just like the form-fitting, sparkly dress, you know, the décolletage. They're just as nice. I love the look. But yeah, you know, and then of course the Vanity Fair after party, and we seeing all of the clips, all the pictures of everybody, you know, and it's a party, so it's not going to be the same as the Oscars. So yeah, I was looking at the stuff for the party, and I hated Zoe Saldana. I guess she's Saldana now. It's not Saldana anymore, because, you know, she's a child of an immigrant. You know, we have to make sure that we remember that. I'm not trying to be, maybe a little bit. But it was just like, I ain't heard so much about her being a Dominican, I ain't heard so much about this girl being Dominican as I have this election cycle. I mean, this award cycle, but it might have something to do with the election cycle. Just the fact that they're trying to besmirchify, shout out to Don King, the immigrants. You know, maybe it is a point that you want to make, that I come from an immigrant family, but it's just like every time I turn around, you know, I'm the child of the immigrant family, and I do like Zoe. I do love what's her name? Zoe Saldana. I do like her, but I hated what she wore to the Oscars. I hated what she wore to the after party. I thought her Oscars looked like a lampshade on top of each other, just piled on top of each other. And then that shit that she had on at the Vanity Fair with this belt, not the belt like her had on at the Oscars, which I actually really liked that dress. I just couldn't understand why it was so wrinkled. I know that that material is like a wrinkly kind of material on its own. But I kind of like where the rugged and the beautiful of the ball gown kind of come together. And I think that was the reason why they used that material, to kind of make it look like, it kind of almost has like a leathery look too, but it's not leather. But it's that, I want to say, it's not crinoline, but it's like this material. Child, I wish my mama was here. She'd have told me. Anyway. No, Zoe just had on a damn belt that you just got from Target, like you needed to run in there and get you a belt real fast. Okay, she had on a belt with some kind of skirt that actually might have been cute, had the top not look like it was just a fucking t-shirt that she got from Forever 21. And I was just like, who dressed her? Who has been dressing this girl? She looks awful, awful. It was the worst. You know, she has a nice body. She's real thin as a rail, like all the rest of them. So I'm sure there's plenty of things that's going to look nice on her. And for them to put that girl out there looking like that, okay, with her adorable kids, them three little boys, they all look like Jesus. And then she looked like the husband who looked like Jesus. Now all of them all look alike now all of a sudden. It was like, oh, she just gave birth to herself 3 more times. I think they're triplets. Anyway, child. Who else? Meg the Stallion, that sticks out, you know, with her pasty on her boob. That again was not the Oscars, that was the Vanity Fair. Nobody is going to the Oscars, well, at least not Meg, to the Oscars with her titty out. Okay. I'm kind of over the whole look anyway. Like, it's just like, it's been done so much, I don't know why it still shocks people. I mean, we've been looking at motherfuckers naked the whole time. We saw Julia Fox, y'all saw her at the thing, and she had on a hair dress. And it was just hair. It was just, they just pulled the hair and coiled it around this nipple and pulled it around and brought it around and did something that so that it would cover her coochie and everything, but she just had on hair. So like, looking at Julia Fox, hell, Megan Thee Stallion was fully dressed, you know. But yeah, you guys, I'm trying to think of who else. I thought Kelly Rowland looked nice at the Vanity Fair. I thought that Tracy Ellis Ross, even though I hated her pictures at the Vanity Fair thing, but when she took the pictures in that same dress at home, I loved them. So I think that it was just the angle that it was at the Vanity Fair thing made us feel like we didn't like Tracy's dress too much. But I actually thought she looked nice. And there were some other people that looked nice. Oh, one of the, was it not Kylie? I think it was that other Jenner girl. Even though she was kind of overdressed for the party, I still loved the dress. The model. She had on a black lacy number. That shit was cute too. But anyway, y'all, I'm not gonna keep on because I didn't write none of it down and we've been here long enough. I'm at McDonald's fixing to give me a Big Mac meal and take it on back to work, okay? So that's that on that. All right, you guys. Let me get on off of here, go order my food, and get on back to work, okay? We do this every single week, so make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Also, you guys, remember, Raising Cane starts on Friday, so you should be getting a video, we think, on Saturday. And Real Housewives of Atlanta starts on Sunday, and you'll be getting a video on Monday. All right, we getting back to the old schedule. So y'all make sure y'all watch. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.